I'm the VP of Marketing Communications at Children's Aid Foundation of Canada. I'm here with my colleague Joe, who is our Manager of Digital Annual Giving, and my colleague Raquel, who is our Officer of Communications and Content. We're going to be sharing a little bit about our e-cookbook. I have a few physical copies that I'll pass around so everyone can see, but we're excited to share with you today. Over to you, Joe.
Okay, so Children's Aid Foundation of Canada.
Sorry.
Great start. Is our country's leading charity dedicated to improving the lives of children and youth in the child welfare system. We raise and grant funds and develop high-impact programs that are delivered in partnership with 104 children and youth serving agencies across the country. With the support of our donors and partners, we help children and youth involved in the child welfare system access the resources and opportunities that they need to thrive. Right now, approximately 59,000 children and youth across Canada are living in permanent government care with foster families, extended families, or in institutional settings. At least 300,000 more are living with vulnerable or unstable families and are significantly at risk of abuse or neglect. Thousands of youth age out of care every year, suddenly confronted with navigating life on their own, sometimes as young as 18.
Thanks, Raquel. So we're going to be talking about our e-cookbook that we put out, but I want to share with you some of our secret sauce, if you will, some key ingredients for success for any campaign that we run. So the first one for us is authenticity. We work really closely with our Young People Advisory Council to make sure that we ground our work in the lived experiences of people who we serve. The second one is testing. If you were here last year, you would have heard us talk about our campaign called Something in Common that we did with the Wiggles. We use all this data and testing to inform the work that we do, and that's really important for grounding our work when we launch any kind of campaign. And the last one is collaboration. So both internally with collaborating across our teams is really important with us for working with our major gifts team and our impact team, but also collaborating with really great external vendors. So I just want to give a little bit of a shout out to Engaging Networks. For those of you who don't know, we migrated over to Engaging Networks 2 years ago. Before that, our fundraising had really stagnated on the mass marketing side, and we've really seen enormous growth. So huge shout out to Engaging Networks. The next one is IETS. I believe they're here today. They are our payment gateway processor. Aber Group, I think, is here today. Thank you, Aber Group. They're our media buying company, and we work in lockstep with Aber Group to put out our ads. And then Principles, I see Principles here today. They have been our creative and strategic agency to help us grow our fundraising program, and they are the masterminds behind the creative of this campaign. So on authenticity, so before we launch any campaign, what we do is we work with our Young People Advisory Council that we affectionately call YPAC. We strength test any kind of concept with them to make sure that it rings true to their story. And so when we launched this campaign, before launching it, we worked with our YPAC group to see whether or not there was a nugget of something that would be important for them and if it would actually resonate with their lived experience. So this is Chelsea. She is one of our YPAC members, and in our focus group, before we embarked on this campaign, we asked whether or not food was something that was important to young people when they were living in care. And Chelsea shared the story about how she ended up in care when she was 4 years old. She had 3 siblings, and they had been moved to various homes, sometimes together, sometimes apart. But food, she said, food was always something that we bonded over. And so we saw that there was clearly a nugget of something, that food was a great way for us to be able to tell the story, and it was able to connect people. So with that, we created a safe plate, recipes and stories from young people from child welfare. And so this is an e-cookbook that we developed as a product to give away. So what is it? It shares the story of 9 young people from coast to coast, their stories of being in care, and the recipe of a meal that was really important for them in that time. How it works. So it's really simple at its very, very basic core. You give us your email and we send you a free product, and you're entered into a journey with us. We'll go through some of the mechanisms today. The other piece is that for every single download that anyone does, $5 gets donated to our foundation from the CARE Foundation. So I talked about the importance of collaboration internally. We worked really closely with our major gifts team to secure a $50,000 donation from the CARE Foundation to allow us to have our really great match partner. So for every download, it's a win-win. You get a free product and you're helping us raise some money. And so in the book, you'll see that's being passed around. You'll see these beautiful recipes, but really at its core, the stories behind the young people. So every single image that you see has a story that represents the young person's lived experience in care. I'll pass it off to you, Raquel.
So our goal for the campaign was to generate 10,000 leads, and we also wanted to test launch timing. So we launched it 2 weeks before our Giving Tuesday campaign, which was at the end of November. And we really wanted to test if we brought in a bunch of leads before our Giving Tuesday and holiday campaign, if we could steward them and then get them to convert during our holiday campaign. The tactics that we used to get to this goal were organic and paid social media and search, influencer marketing, earned media, so that included interviews, articles, TV, and radio spots, email marketing, and we also created digital blogs with additional recipes and used different methods of display like website banners and custom email signatures. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys through getting the cookbook. So we have our QR code here. If you want to take out your phone, you can go through the whole setup, which is very easy. It's just your first name, last name, and email address, and then you get the free cookbook. And on the next page, you'll see an opportunity to also give a gift if you wanted to. So I'll let you guys go through that.
While you're doing that, I'll move along.
Oh, yeah, so I'm the tech person, so I use engaging networks every single day and try to utilize as many tools as possible to get the best donor experience. So when we start with this cookbook, we emailed our current file, let them know that we're releasing this cookbook. We use data and different profiles to segment, as well as using additional content. And then we're trying to amp up our monthly donor program. So we with this cookbook, we're giving early access to monthly donors. So instead of clicking a link and having to go download the book, they have it right in the email there. When you sign up to receive the cookbook, instead of having just a basic thank you page, we decided to include a donation form as well. That way we have their attention and can possibly get them into our donor system. Our autoresponder, of course, links to the PDF, which they can download directly. We have some more storytelling, as well as an ask to share the sign-up page on their social media with their loved ones. In our PS, we also have a heads up that they can expect an email from one of our featured YPAC members, Christina. And then after that, the downloaders are placed into a unique marketing automation. 3 days after they receive the autoresponder, they receive another email from Christina sharing her story, going deeper into what she shared in the cookbook, and then of course an ask to actually donate, and including more information about where their dollars are going as they're new to our organization. If they donate directly on the thank you page rather than the autoresponder, they are then put into a different automation, which is our usual new donor automation. After that, we had a couple additional emails to file, just sharing extra recipes that we couldn't include in the cookbook, just to keep people engaged with the stories, and so those were just a couple of recipes that we shared. So the assets we used for all of this, we of course use tracking and origin sources. This of course helps us determine which tactics perform best. We had our emails to file, our current file, new file. We had our sign-up form, and we really like using thank you pages that include a donation ask so we can get people as soon as we can. And then, of course, an autoresponder and a unique marketing automation.
So as Raquel mentioned, we had launched this thing 2 weeks prior to our holiday campaign. Our holiday campaign runs from Giving Tuesday to the very end of the year, the tax deadline. Holiday is our biggest fundraising campaign for us at our foundation. And so it's really important for us to be able to prime our audience to be ready for the very busy giving season. And so this product tied into our holiday campaign in 3 ways. 1 was stewardship, 2, branding, and 3, a second donation from leads. And so I'll go into that. So on the stewardship side, as Joe mentioned, we actually sent this to our entire file ahead of the giving season. We knew they were going to get bombarded with a million asks. And so we wanted to be able to give them a warm, fuzzy product that made them feel tied to our foundation without ever asking for any kind of amount of donation. So that was stewardship. We also tied in a holiday card that features Jessie Lynn and her Yorkshire pudding as another nice little tie-in of the cookbook to our holiday campaign. The second piece was branding. So we went out with a big earned media push. We ended up getting 75 unique media hits in paper, print, digital, TV, radio. So really great brand recognition for us across the country ahead of our really busy season. Influencer marketing and shares over social. So really great brand visibility for us through this book right ahead of our really busy fundraising season. And the last piece is a second donation. And so I'll go into this a little bit, but we were pleasantly surprised that we had a lot of donations right off the top because of our thank you page. When you become a lead, goes straight to a donation. We were being a little cheeky, seeing if they would give us, the leads would give us a donation, and they did. And so we were actually able to upgrade and get a second gift from our first-time donors right at that tail end, about a month and a half after their first donation when they became a lead with us in mid-November. And we were able to get a second gift from them at the end of the year. And so that was really how we were able to tie in this product with our really busy holiday campaign. I want to talk about the post journey. So as important as it is setting up a beautiful campaign, creating a beautiful product, it is equally, if not more important, what you do in the post journey with your leads. And so for us, there's 2 pieces of information I wanted to share with you. The first one is the importance of conditionalized content. And the second is all about timing and sequencing. So on conditionalized content, we created a shop with Engaging Networks e-commerce shop. In the shop, you'll see we drove content during holiday that reminded our leads where they came in off of, hey, you got a cookbook. Remember how great that was? And then we said, hey, you know what? Young people need kitchen essentials. So tying in a culinary book with a culinary gift to really engage our leads in a way that they came in and it was meaningful for them. The second piece of conditionalized content that was really important for us was not just to bring in leads, but to keep hearkening back to how they came in and to give them new, fresh content. And so we would regularly send new emails reminding them about the book, but also sharing a new recipe and a new story, a fresh new story of a young person who's experienced care. On that second piece that I wanted to share with you, timing and sequencing. So for us, timing was incredibly important. So asking for a donation right as soon as they signed up as a lead was incredibly important. We saw great conversions that we were actually a bit shocked about. So timing was really important of asking that gift. The reason why that's important is because you're priming this lead audience that, hey, we're a charity. We function because we have donations. So we want you to know that you're getting a free product, but hey, we also need donations. So we're priming this audience to know that you're probably going to get some asks from us. And if you're going to leave, that's fine. You get a free product and hopefully learn a little bit about us. The second piece was we worked with our telemarketing vendor, Public Outreach, to do calling. And so we did calling with leads and those new donors. And we did this within 2 to 3 weeks of them signing up. That timing was really important because it allowed our leads to check out the book, maybe check out a recipe, get a couple emails for us, and then, hey, get a call from one of our callers to say, hey, I heard you got this new book. Tell us about what you thought about it. Did you try it in the recipes? That kind of stuff. And so many of the leads and donors said, yes, I remember this. So it was really important to do that. So one quick fact, our cookbook leads represent less than 2% of our file, but they represent over 10% of our monthly giving file. So really, really great conversions. Those calls were so important, and having those calls right after those 2 to 3 week window was incredibly important for us to be able to upgrade them to a monthly donor.
So how did the cookbook do? So far, the cookbook has been in market for 6 months, and we've gotten over 6,000 leads. And this is only 1.5 months in paid media market. We've generated 2.4 million impressions via organic and paid media search, and over 50,000 new visitors to our website. We also had 74 media hits across the country, which is the highest the foundation has ever had for a singular product, generating over 47 million impressions. 9 influencers participated in the effort, generating over 1 million impressions for the campaign. And we also increased our conversion rate to 3.28%. Pre-engaging networks migration, the team's conversion was 0.26%. So 3.28% is a significant leap. And 3% of leads converted within the first 3 days of being in the file, with an average first gift of $30. So we concluded that we were really bringing in valuable leads that were really interested in our cause.
And then I'll just leave you with 3 key learnings that we had. Timing was really important for us, as I mentioned before. But one of the things that we tested was running a lead generation campaign 2 weeks before our busy holiday campaign. We thought that bringing in a mass number of leads, giving us 2 weeks to steward them and warm them, and then we'd hit them with a big fundraising ask. What we didn't anticipate was them donating right off the very bat. And so one of our key learnings was to give us a little bit more time, a little bit of air between the lead generation campaign and our fundraising campaign. So this year, for example, we're going to run our lead generation campaign in the summer and then another one in early fall, September, October timing, to give us a little bit of time between the first gift and the second gift. The other thing is around timing. Having it in market 2 weeks before the holiday didn't give us enough time for our ads to exit the learning phase. So again, if we just had a little bit more time, we'd be able to be a little bit more successful than we already were. The second piece is audience. So for those of you who know us, we've run a number of lead generation campaigns for targeted audiences. What we wanted to do with this one is to have a broad enough appeal that would help us gain general population leads. So that's what this was able to do. We're able to pulse it at different times of the year. Summer recipes, Thanksgiving recipes, Mother's Day, things like that. So this one has a really nice broad appeal. And the last learning that we had was follow through. So don't be shy to make that ask right as they come in. We were a little bit afraid of, is it a little bit cheeky of us to ask them for a donation right away? No, it isn't. If people are going to donate, they're going to donate. Make the ask right away. And the other piece is if you're going to run a telemarketing campaign, run it right away. Strike while that iron's hot, while they still remember you. They'll feel really good about getting that free product and then getting that call from you. And then you'll see great upgrades in terms of monthly donations. So those are our 3 key learnings. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Are these, okay, we're good. They are live mics. Wow, team. Gotta say, as a former content marketer, this made my heart beat. I loved it. And you see all these questions here. So we might have to run through these really quickly, but we will try to get through all of them. So the first one, I love all the innuendos, i.e. a space plate. How did you come up with all of these? What was the creative process?
Oh dear. Sorry, it might be my rushed speaking, but it's actually a safe plate. And that actually came up with our creative agency principals who's here today. They came up with a number of different concepts. We worked really closely with our Young People Advisory Council to say, these are a number of options for our creative. What rings true to you? And immediately a safe plate just felt so right for them, that they were always looking for a safe place, that there's a lot of instability in their life. And so a safe plate felt very real, authentic, and comfortable for them. So that's how we came up with it. Sorry if it's a safe plate.
That's great. So additionally, playing off of that, this is a creative endeavor. And sometimes that can be, a little friction internally to go out on the limb and create something different. Was this different for the organization, or was this the first time matching donation was done on a piece of content versus, on a donation page? And let's see, what else did they say? We'll leave it at that.
About matching donation? We usually try to find a matching donation for a lot of our campaigns. We're really fortunate in that way. So anytime we can have a matching gift with a lead generation, why wouldn't someone want to sign up? Even if they don't get a free product, it's still, well, if I give them my name, at least $5 will be donated. So, yeah.
I'll also add, we at our foundation, we have a really strong major gifts team. And so we're leaning into our strengths at our organization. We knew that they'd be able to help us if we made the ask to our colleagues on the major gift team, and we knew that we'd be able to help us secure a match donation. So it's a win for them because they're able to sell an incredible product to a potential donor. And it's a win for us because we're able to give another incentive for our leads to come in.
Fantastic. So question from Eric, were the influencers that worked with you already connected to the organization, or were they connected specifically for the campaign?
So we actually did a whole influencer campaign. We scouted these influencers and then contacted a lot of them. 9 decided to work with us, but no, they were not connected with us in any way. And they are now in our arsenal of influencers that we kind of talk to for every campaign.
Fantastic. And on the paid side, how did those ads perform?
So the paid ads performed really well, actually. They were our top performing ads for months at this point. People really resonated with the face of the youth and kind of reading their story, and those got clicked through a lot. They were really, really, high performing.
Great. And do you have any info on how the cookbook leads have performed compared to other segments since coming onto the list? Do they opt out at higher rates?
If only our colleague Hannah were here. She's getting married right now, so shout out to Hannah. She would know this. So we did have the cookbook is our highest conversion rate. So right now it is our cheapest lead per cost for us. So thank you, Aber Group, for being a great partner with us and helping us find the right content, the right kind of imagery, and doing all that kind of data to help us make sure that we're putting out the right ad. So it is our most cost-effective ad. In terms of unsubscribes, Joe, maybe you know the answer.
I don't have the numbers, but I will tell you it was never really like a concern that like unsubscribes never really came up. So it wasn't an issue. It's usually more topical newsletters or appeals or stewardship pieces that get some unsubscribes, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think that's a good point though, in the sense that you're creating a content piece of value. And then you're using that content piece throughout the season. So I think, with that, there's continuity and people want to be engaged in that. And I think you had mentioned in your conversation about people are interested in cooking and they're interested in this. So you have that to lean into. Which brings me to my next question about segments. How are you segmenting these? Are you using origin source, or are there other factors you looked at to determine the conditional element?
Yeah, so we have our main origin sources that we have in engaging networks, and then from there we'll break it down by how we're sending it, whether it's a social media post, a media, or an email, and then I guess more basic segmenting. So it was allies and subscribers that we would target, and then we would do donors, and then of course our monthly donor segment that we would change the language for that as well. And then they would all have their codes.
Great. And then focusing in more on these leads, do they stay out of your year-end campaign segments other than a late December ask and the telemarketing?
No, that was built into the process. We were going to bring all these leads and then wham, hit them with a number of asks. And so we didn't segment them out. We did give conditionalized content to remind them of how they came in, because our holiday campaign was really focused around supporting families. So we were afraid that there might be a little bit of a disjoint, and you came into the foundation through a cookbook, and now suddenly you're hearing about family. So we really needed to make sure that it was a continuity between how they came in and the ask that they're making. So you would have seen, I talked about the shop and how we asked them for a culinary kit, things like that. So just really making sure that the seamless process, but we didn't segment them out. We very purposely asked them for money.
That's all you can ask for. Purposefully asking them for money. I love that. All right. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time for this panel here, but we do have extra questions in here. So if you didn't get a chance to get your question answered, please feel free to come up to the team and ask them. They will be happy to answer all your questions. All right. Thank you.